Hello and welcome back to the wedding vlogs. If you haven't already, please do check out the two videos before. They are really good, if I do say so myself. So please go and check those out, and also if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. I need some subscribers. I'm feeling lonely over here, so please do subscribe and like. So in this video I'm going to give you my top 5 venues, and I'm also going to give you a list of questions to ask the venues when you're going on your viewing, because there may be some questions on there that you didn't even think of, but each question is very important. So please have your notebooks at the ready. So there's only 217 days to go, and I'm so excited. There's still so much to do, but I am going to kick off and give you my top 5 venues that we have narrowed down. Remember, I said please do narrow down your venues to at least 5 to 7, because if you decide on one venue, you might go there and actually, I don't actually like it and I haven't got a backup. So make sure you have at least minimum 5. I had quite a few, but then we narrowed it down to 5 because I want to go on 5 viewings. The first one is a place called Brendbury, and it is beautiful. Just have a look. Here's a few pictures that I snapped up. This is Brendbury. Now the only thing is it's a little bit closer to Birmingham, so I still want to go and view it, but it's probably going to be a plan B or C. So don't hold me to that, but it's stunning. The second venue possibility was Wharton Hall. Do you remember I said to you, check out some barns because they can actually look really nice? Check out this one. So this is Wharton Hall, and it is stunning. It's smack bang in Oxford. It's in the middle of between Birmingham and London, so it was just perfect. This is definitely a top contender. This is probably plan A or B. I love it, and there's a lot of land, and you know me, I love land and I love the wildlife, half a livestock, whatever you call it. I love it. I love. The third venue is Whittlebury Park. Oh, even the name sounds so Whittlebury. It sounds so kind of posh. I like it. I like the name, and it does absolutely look stunning as well. So that is another contender. I love it, and again, it's in a really good location. So that is why it is one of our top 5 venues. It's beautiful. Right, the fourth venue is Yarnton Manor. All these names sound so countryside-y, but I love it. I absolutely love. I love fresh air. I love the countryside. I love the wild livestock. I can't remember, but I love the animals, so I love it all. So that was definitely another contender, and it's stunning. It looks absolutely beautiful, and I can already imagine all my decorations up, all the lights, the candles. It's just stunning. Now another contender was Berwick Lodge. Now it's a little bit pricier than some of the others, but again, it's absolutely stunning. I can picture me getting married here. To be fair, I can picture myself getting married in all of them, but this had to go and view this because again, it just looked beautiful, and it looked like the kind of feel and theme and atmosphere that I actually wanted to go for. Again, there's a bit of land, and you know me, I do love a bit of land, so it had to be one of the top 5, definitely. Oxford Town Hall. Now I know. I've looked on Google Images and there are buses outside. It looks like a public road. There's a Sainsbury's there. It's a plan DEFG. It's a plan G. It's way down there. It's last on the list. But I did mention before in a previous video that some town halls can look absolutely stunning. So I actually just wanted to go and see it anyway because they offer external caterers. It's huge. They can have up to 600 people. Again, it's probably going to be way down low on our list, but I wanted to give it a chance anyway. So it was Oxford Town Hall. So you've got your 5, 6 or 7 venues all narrowed down. Now it's time to get the brochures. So send those emails, ping them, text them, Instagram them, I don't know, Facebook them, DM them, whatever. Just get those brochures in. Some venues actually have virtual videos on their website, which is really good, so you can check out those as well. But you need to make sure that the date that you are getting married, they have available. So try and get this done. I tried to aim for a year before, so try and do a year. If you haven't got that luxury, then just try and do it far as far in advance as you possibly can, because these venues get booked up quick, especially if the venue's banging, and especially if the venue is a wicked price. So get those brochures in and ask if your date is available before you even go on to the next part, which I'm going to tell you now. The next section is to book those viewings. Now, when you're booking the viewings, don't have one viewing on Monday, the second one on Wednesday, third one next week Friday. Try and keep them all to the same day. Try and keep the times so they can roll off each other. That's exactly what we did. So rather than you having to plan all your life around these separate days, keep them to one day, and make sure you plan the journey time as well. So make sure there's enough time to get from one venue to the next venue, and then from that venue to the other venue, and then from that to the other. You may have to go into 2 days, but try and keep the 2 days together, or maybe even you could do 2 weekends. It's up to you, but just try and get them as close together as possible, so you're not wasting your time, because journey time again is a lot. Maybe you and your partner can go for lunch, you can make a day of it. Just try and get them together. It'll make it so much easier, trust me. In the long run, you will be thanking me, saying thanks Sherelle for making me book them so close together and not scattered, you know. So get those booked and make sure your date's available. Okay, so you've got all your venues booked, you've got your viewings booked, you've planned to go for lunch or dinner, you've got it all booked. Now I need you to grab your notebook and pen and jot down these 22 very important questions. Question number 1, as I mentioned before, is your date available? This is the top first question, because this is the most important question. We need to make sure they're available. We can't book a venue if they're not available. Makes no sense. So that is our first top highest priority. This question can even be asked before you even go on the viewing. You can ask this when you get in the brochure or before you get the brochure. The second question is the guest total. Is the amount of guests that you have able to fit into their venue? Do they accommodate for that number of guests? Now, our guest list again was huge, so a lot of venues said no straight away. No. And you know what? I'm glad I asked that question before I actually went on the viewing. I'm glad I asked it before I even got the brochure, because I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. There's so many other venues out there that can accommodate, so why are we even having this discussion back and forth? It's just a waste of time. Question 3. Is the registrar able to marry us in the venue? Now, some of you may be having church weddings, so this won't apply to you, but for people that are having blessings or getting married in the venue, you need to make sure the registrar is available to marry you in that venue, because some venues are not able to have a registrar, or they're not licensed to marry people on site, so definitely check that out. Question 4, how long do we get the venue for, and can this time be extended? Now, I love late weddings, because the favouriteest part of mine is the party. I'm so bad, I know my partner tells me all the time, but that's my favourite part. I can't help it. I just want to dance and drink and mingle with family and friends. So you need to ask them, 1, if you can have the venue possibly the day before for the caterers or the wedding decor people to set up, or if you can have it from really early in the morning. You need to know what time you can start setting up from, basically, and then you need to know what time you have to be out by. You also need to know if you can possibly extend that time. Now, the venues that we're going to, I know a few of them do offer us to extend past 12, so we want our party to go on to at least 2, because it's going to be popping and people are going to be dancing and drinking. So this is a really good question for them to ask, for you to ask, sorry. Can we extend the time so we can boogie the night away? You're only getting married once, remember, so we've got to go out with a bang. Question 5 will actually roll on for question 4. What time can we set up? So you need to know what time you can set up from in the morning. This could be like 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning. Some people might even say 10, 11, but at least it will give you an idea of when you can actually start your ceremony, because you want people to be in there setting up before you can actually get married. So our wedding will start at 1 p.m. and I'm hoping that the venue that we choose will allow us to get in there by, what, say 9, 8, maybe even 10 at a push. So yeah, definitely think about that question as well. Question 6 is, a really good one, and I didn't even think of it. You need to ask them, are you hosting any other weddings? Because some venues have different rooms where people will get married in different rooms. Now, me personally, I don't want to get married at the same time as someone else, because if people were to go outside, they're mingling with other guests. I don't like that. I really don't want that. But again, I'm different, you're different, so that might be something that you don't mind, but I would always ask that question, just so at least you know, and you can get a bit of an insight as to where your guests could be, and they could be over that way if you want your guests that way, and blah, blah, blah. Ask the question. Question 7 is, are there any guidelines for decorations? Now, it sounds a little bit obvious, but some places do not offer candles, so open flames, which is a little bit understandable, to be fair. Some people may not accept drapes, there might be a fire hazard, they may not accept fairy lights, just things like that. You just need to know what decorations you can have and what decorations you can't, because if you've got a vision in your mind of a candlelit room and lights, fairy lights flowing around on the ceiling and drapery, they may not be like, hold on a minute, no, we don't accept candles. So then your whole vision is just messed up. So you definitely need to ask that question. Question 8 is a really good one, especially if you're going to have external caterers. These are the little things that, again, I didn't even think of. Do you provide tablecloths, cutlery, glassware and napkins? Because a lot of places don't, if you're getting external caterers. And then if your external caterers don't supply that as well, then you need to add that into your budget, because you're going to have to hire some. But again, I would ask, because if they do, then that is something that you can knock off your budget, and it's something to really think about. Question 9, well, I should say 8A, but it's actually question 9. Can you use external caterers? Now, a lot where we were going through venues, a lot of hotels did not offer this option, which I was a bit shocked at, because I thought everyone did. But again, if you don't know, I've never been married before, so I wouldn't know. But no, a lot of them don't. So make sure you ask that question if you want external caterers, because you might not want external caterers, you might actually be happy with their caterers. But it's just something to definitely ask. And sometimes there is also a commission that you have to pay on top of using external caterers to the venue. So again, take that into consideration, because you may need to add that into your budget. Question 10. Now this question, I can't lie, it actually really did annoy me, because I had no idea. It's corkage fee. So I didn't know that you had to pay a corkage fee for bringing your own alcohol on site. Maybe I'm being naive. Again, I've never been married before, so I would have no idea. But a corkage fee can range between £10 to 15, maybe even higher, just for one bottle of sparkling Prosecco. I think it could be as well wine. I think it drops down when it's wine or still alcohol, but per bottle. It's crazy. So another question to ask is, do you have a bar? And if it is a bar, is it a cash bar or a card bar, or both? Because you'll need to tell your guests this as well. They may need to bring cash. But again, we're probably going to have a bar, because I'm sorry, that price is just ridiculous. If it's, let's say £6 to £8 for one bottle of Prosecco, we've then got to pay an additional £15 for that bottle. So additionally, we're paying more for the corkage than the actual bottle. So it's just crazy. I'm really frustrated, but you know, there's no getting away from it. I feel like these people prey on people that are getting married, because they know that they have to spend it, basically. So try and find somewhere that has a bar so your guests can pay. Question 11. Is there a specific amount that needs to be reached at the bar? So again, it sounds like a silly question, but some bars and some venues, you have to actually hit a specific target tab for them in order for you to use a bar. And if you don't hit that tab, then you have to pay. Again, something else to put into your budget, but just ask the question anyway, just so you're in the clear and just so you know. Question 12. Does the venue accommodate a DJ or a band and all their equipment? This is such an important question, because if you get a venue and then you've hired a massive string quartet band, and then they're coming and they're like, hold on, where are we going to set up? Like, are we going to set up outside? Are we going to set up on the roof? Like, where are we going to go? So you need to make sure that your venue can accommodate this, because they're going to need electricity and they're going to need sockets that are close to where the band goes. I mean, it's an obvious question, but again, it's just something that I wouldn't have even thought of, you know. So it's just so handy to keep these questions all together and take them when you go on your viewings. Question 13. In addition to the band question, are there enough electrical outputs for the band? They're going to need outputs for their microphones. They may need outputs for their pianos, all their instruments. I don't know. If it's a DJ, he's going to need input for his laptop, his decks, you need to make sure there's adequate electrical sockets for the band and or the DJ. Question 14. Is there disabled access? This is so important. You may not have any disabled people in your family, but you may have elderly people and who struggle with stairs. If there's a lot of stairs, it might be a bit too much. Do they have a lift? Do they have a ramp? These are all the things that you can ask them for disabled access, because again, if you're bringing kids, they may have a pram, so they may need a ramp for the pram. Can't do the stairs, just so you're in the way. If they don't have disabled access, you need to tell your guests this as well. Question 15. Is tax, VAT, all that other taxy stuff, is it included? Because you don't want to have a set price on your budget and then you get the invoice from the venue and realise, hold on, I didn't include the 20% tax or the 15% tax. Make sure you ask this question. It's so important, otherwise it will definitely slap you in the face when it comes to the invoice. Question 16. Is a wedding coordinator going to be available? Now, this is very important. Most venues actually do come with a wedding coordinator, but you need a wedding coordinator because you're going to be getting married. Like, you're not going to have time to tell people where to go or I don't know where to go. You need a wedding coordinator to liaise with the vendors. You need a wedding coordinator to liaise with all the guests, so you don't have to. It's not your job. It's not your groomsman's job. It's not the groom's job. It's not your bridesmaid's job. It's the wedding coordinator's job. Now, if you don't have a wedding coordinator that comes with the venue, maybe you can ask someone who you absolutely trust in your family to do this for you, and then you can just go from there. But you definitely 100 million trillion billion%, you need a wedding coordinator. Otherwise, it's going to be stress, unstressed, smashed in stress. So get that wedding coordinator. Question 17. Is accommodation available? Now, as I mentioned, we are having a very late wedding. I do not want to be travelling all the way back to London or all the way back to Birmingham just to go to sleep. No, I want there to be accommodation on site, or at least 5 minutes away, or hotels 5 minutes away. So I would definitely ask this question because accommodation is so important. You're going to want somewhere where you can get ready before you get there. Some, I wouldn't say most, but some venues actually come with accommodation, which is perfect. So definitely ask them that as well. Question 18. Now, this was my favourite question because, okay. Are fireworks and candles allowed? Now, I say it's my favourite question because, one, I love fireworks, so I was like, please be allowed. This is such a question, please, I need fireworks or sparklers. But then I went away, thought to myself, hold on a minute, we're going to get married 9 times out of 10 in somewhere where there's a lot of land, which means livestock or wild stock. So fireworks may not be permitted because we don't want to scare the wildlife, something stock, whatever it is. So this is such a good question to ask. And again, the candles, because I'm all about the candle atmosphere. I love candles. And when I think about getting married, I think open candles or open candlelight. So that was the question that I needed to ask, and if they said no, I just put well, I'm not getting married then. Question 19, again a very good one, is parking. This is going to be so important because most of you guests probably will drive. So we need to figure out if they have parking available, and if so, how many spaces, just so you can let your guests know where they can park and again, where they can park. Simple as that. Is there parking? Question 20, liability insurance. Now, 9.5 out of 10 will probably have liability insurance. The venues they must have all the certificates and stuff like that, so I'm pretty sure they've probably got liability insurance, otherwise they would be in serious trouble. If they haven't got liability insurance, you need to look into this, because you need insurance. God forbid something happens and then what? You've lost all that money, someone could try and sue you, I don't know, arrest you, take you to court, I don't know. Just make sure there's liability insurance. It's just a safety net, as well as wedding insurance, which is something we will talk about as well. But I think it's literally just a safety net. Again, you're only getting married once. You need to make sure that everything's in place and you've got a safe bubble around you, so you don't lose all these grands and grands of money, your parents' money, grandparents' money, auntie and uncle's money. You know, you need a safety net. So ask the venue if they have liability insurance. This is a hilarious question, but I love it. Number 21. Are pets allowed? Now, if I could, I would have all the doggies and all elephants and tigers and bears at my wedding. I'd have horses, I'd have so much animals there, but again, no, my guests, they wouldn't want that. Half of them don't even like doggies anyway, so that was just a no from us. But it's a really good question to ask, because if you have a dog and you can't bear leaving them in a kennel for the night, or with someone else who's going to actually be at your wedding, or you need to know if you can bring the doggy with you, basically. So are pets allowed? And you'd be surprised, there are some venues that actually do allow pets, and I was surprised. I was very, very surprised. But I'm funny, I don't want to be eating my curry goat and there's a doggy looking at a plate. No, waggling his little tail trying to get some of my curry mutton. No. Right, the last question, again a very, very important question, is how much is the holding deposit? Now, the holding deposit is something that is going to secure your date and your booking. I would try and get this paid ASAP. Make sure obviously you do all your venue checking and your viewings and stuff, but I would get the holding deposit paid for ASAP and then worry about the second instalment later on, because you need to secure the venue. They get booked up so quick, just boom, just like that, you know. So you need to pay that holding deposit. You need to make sure you know, is it refundable, how much is it, and when do you need it by? All these questions need to be factored into when it comes to holding deposits. Oh, and don't forget to take a lot of pictures, because when you get home you're going to think, oh, I forgot what that corner of the room looks like. Maybe the DJ could go there, but I didn't take pictures. Oh my gosh. So please take loads of pictures so you can go home, you can chill with your partner, and you can go through them all again and compare and send them to me. I want to see. But either way, thank you so much for watching. Catch me on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. GMT times. Thank you.